King Darius is a fascinating character to me. I believe he represents the majority of the people in this church, the majority of the people in this city, this country, this world. Most of us aren't bad guys. In fact, the commentary from Stephen B. Reed points out that the narrator seems to literally paint King Darius as a good guy, to highlight the major differences between the harshness of the Babylonian Empire and the less harshness of the Persian Empire. He seems to make a point, at the very least, that King Darius is at least more sane and tolerable than King Nebuchadnezzar. But here's the thing, nice people don't change the world. Nice people might open the door, but I've known plenty who won't stand up against the injustice around them. I went to youth group with plenty of nice girls, but did their friends even know they were Christians at school? No. I've known plenty of nice guys who don't stand up against locker room talk and stand idly by when they could stop the promotion of negative stigmas or prejudices, but they don't. King Darius loved Daniel, but his love wasn't enough to come up with a plan B to save him, to think of a contrary decree that might just rescue him. In fact, a few scholars believe that the law itself wasn't as cut and dry as we like to think it was. King Darius could have revoked that law, but because he was a new king in town with insecurities of his own and a face to live up to, it would have been social suicide to go back on his word. And he knew this. Albert Einstein said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Or even a more intense version of this quote is Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the German theologian who was killed during the Holocaust. "Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act." Do you resonate with King Darius, the nice guy? Do you know in your gut that you are supposed to be living for so much more than you're living for? Maybe you've missed chances to stick up for someone, or you've squandered opportunities to share the hope of Christ because you were scared of what your people would think of you. Do you save face, or do you save souls? I think if we're all honest with ourselves, in one way or another, we are King Darius. So what do we do when we've made that realization? I think it's taking one day at a time, choosing to follow God in the little ways, knowing that the big ones will inevitably come. It's practicing being faithful in the small things and believing that God will do the rest. This quote by Stephen Furtick is one I love. "Audacious faith is not passive, and neither is audacious prayer. Every aspiration you have in prayer needs to be accompanied by an action. Otherwise, you are not really praying, you're just pontificating. You do the natural and trust God for the super."